I'm Dr. Rohan Khandelwal. I am a breast cancer surgeon and a surgery faculty. Um, During the course of 1 hour, I would be discussing what exactly is the next exam, and if it is implemented, what are the things which you need to keep in mind, okay, and how to approach the next exam. So, without wasting any time, let's just start with what exactly is the next exam, and is it going to be implemented on time or not? I guess that is a big question which students are asking. So the need for the next exam arises because there are multiple exams right now, and the government just wants that there's a single entrance exam for all postgraduate seats. So that is why they're launching the next exam, and it is going to serve not only as a licensing exam but also as a PG entrance exam. So it will serve two purposes. It is going to replace your final year exam, and it will serve as both a licensing exam and a PG entrance exam. Now, there are going to be two exams. Unlike right now, unlike what happens right now is you just appear for one PG entrance exam and that's the end of it. You get selected after that. But now what is going to happen is that there's going to be a next one exam and a next two exam. So the next one exam is going to happen in March, and it is said that the batch of 2017 is going to be the first batch which appears for it. So first of all, let me just tell you, those who are final year students or interns, post interns, this video is not meant for you. So you people can leave. I won't be addressing your queries. I'm just talking about second year and pre-final year students. Okay. Final year students, you will probably end up having another NEET exam. Okay. So don't listen to all this. Now, pre-final and second year students, a batch of 2017 will appear for the next exam. It is going to be held in March of 2022. That is the proposal, right? Whether it is going to be implemented on time or not, we don't know right now. Okay. So the next one exam is a 3-day long exam. So the first major change is right now you have a single postgraduate exam, which is a single day, and based on that you get your 3-hour exam and you get a seat after that. But this one is a 3-day long exam, right? And what they're saying is that there's going to be no supplementary exam. So if you clear the exam, you get your license and you get a rank which can decide your PG seat, and you also get to start your internship. But if you fail the exam, they haven't released or they haven't revealed as yet what is going to be the status for those who fail the exam right now. Okay. So the 3-day exam, day 1 is going to be medicine and allied branches. There are going to be 120 questions from medicine and allied branches. And in the post-lunch session, so there's going to be a pre-lunch and a post-lunch session. The post-lunch session is going to have pediatrics, 60 questions. Day 2 is going to be surgery, pre-lunch, surgery and allied branches. So it's like surgery, ortho, radiology. That's going to be 120 questions. And post-lunch is going to be ENT, 60 questions. Day 3 is going to be obs-gynae, pre-lunch, 120 questions, and ophthalmology, post-lunch, 60 questions. So that is the distribution which they've proposed. So major changes, offhand you can see that, ophthalmology, ENT and pediatrics suddenly become very important. You have 60 questions each from them. And surgery, medicine and obs-gynae carry the maximum weightage. Almost out of 120, 100 odd questions are going to be from core surgery, medicine and obs-gynae. So these 6 subjects are forming bulk of your exam in the next one exam. Now, what they've also written is that 60% questions would be problem solving questions. Right? So you'll probably have long clinical scenarios which you'll need to interpret, and then you'll need to answer questions based on that. Comprehension and analysis is going to be 30%, and 10% are going to be direct recall questions. So for example, investigations of choice or one-line questions which you've been traditionally experiencing in your PG entrance exams. Now, 10% are going to be from basic sciences. So 10% questions are going to be from basic sciences. Okay, so approximately 60 questions from basic sciences. Now, they will be integrated, they will be asked with a clinical touch, right? And 10% questions on PSM. So PSM also is again forming around 50 to 60 questions. So PSM also becomes one major subject for you in the next one exam. Right, so this is the proposal which they've made. I've already told you that this is going to be applicable for the 2017 batch if it is implemented on time. Now, what are the major challenges? I mean, I must have got at least 400 or 500 questions and comments after I posted about this session. And just by reading them and talking to students, the major challenges which have come up are number one, it's a 3-day long exam as compared to a single day exam, right? So it is going to be more stressful for you. You need to be mentally and physically ready to give an exam for 3 long days, and till the last day you need to be you need to keep your senses sharp so that you can answer the questions. It's a high stakes exam, right? Because if you don't clear this exam, then you can't even start your internship, and we don't know whether they're going to have a supplementary exam within a few months or a year later. The other major change is going to be the clinical focus which is going to be there. And the biggest challenge which all students are saying, that the exam is going to be held before internship. So that 1 year which you used to get during internship, you're not going to get it then. The next 2 exam is going to be after internship, and it will be a clinical exam. So once you've cleared the next 1 exam, you can start your internship, and then next year you're going to appear for the next 2 exam. Only if you clear the next 2, which is the clinical skills exam, then only you can start your post-graduation. So your internship again is going to become very important, because the next 2 exam would be based on clinical skills. Right? So this was a basic outline regarding the next exam. Now the questions which all of you have sent me, let me just address them one by one. The first question, the most common question which I've got, will next be implemented on time? Well, I can't say that. You know, we are going through tough times with the pandemic going on. Maybe not it is implemented on time. I can't say. But what I can tell you is, if I was in your position, I will prepare as if there's going to be a next exam in 2022, right? So I will prepare with that mindset. If it doesn't happen, then I get 1 extra year to prepare. So that's an added advantage for me, but that would be my approach, okay? Now, the first basic thing which students have asked me, how should second year students and how should third year students approach this period? So if I was a second year student, what I would do first is finish all the second year subjects. Okay, so you're having your online classes from your college as well for your second year subjects. So finish your second year subjects so you're ready for your prof exams as well. And whatever spare time you have, you start reading your third year subject, or I would revise the first year subject. So if I were you, finish the second year subjects, start revising the first year subjects. Okay. When I mean by revising the first year subjects, you read the notes, you solve the MCQs of your first year subjects. You solve the MCQs of your second year subject as well. Okay. If this much you can do in your second year, then at least 2 years, the basic science years, those 60 questions, you have revised them once. The next time when you'll get to revise them is when you enter final year or when you enter third year, and when you're reading your clinical subjects, you can again correlate these basic science topics with them. So that would mean a second revision of your first and second year subjects. So for second year students, again I'm repeating, finish your second year subjects, revise your first year subjects, do their questions also. If you still have time, start reading your third year subjects. Okay. Approach to third year students. What should third year students do? Again, third year, I've told you ENT, Optha, PSM, 60, 60, 60, major weightage. So devote time to these three subjects, ENT, Optha, PSM. And while you're doing your ENT, Optha, PSM, also revise their physiology, revise their anatomy, revise their pathology. Okay, so when I talk about doing these three subjects, finish them completely, finish them along with their specific basic science part. Should you be doing MCQs? Absolutely. Your final year exam is going to be replaced by an MCQ exam. You better start doing MCQs as soon as possible. So whatever you're reading, do your MCQs along with that. Fine. Now, if you have time, if you have spare time other than once you've finished these three subjects, ENT, Optha, PSM, then you should start reading your final year subjects. So I'm talking about third year students, finish the three core subjects, ENT, Optha, PSM. If you still have time, start reading your final year subjects. Okay. Right, now the other major questions which I'm getting. So the one major concern which all of you have highlighted is that you are unable to go to your clinics. And how do you compensate for the loss of these clinics and the lack of clinical experience which you're getting? Well, I know it's a sad situation, but the options to circumvent this a loss of clinical time is one, to pay attention to the classes which your college is conducting. So they will have a clinical touch as well to those classes. Number two, utilize the resources which are already there on the internet, YouTube or whichever platform you've subscribed to for their clinical correlation. Otherwise, what I would do is I would at least make my theory strong. Right, I'll start reading these clinical subjects, I'll make my theory strong, and then whenever the lockdown opens up or whenever your classes and your clinics start, I would then overcompensate, and then, spend more time in the clinics to gain that knowledge. Yes, the next one exam is going to replace your final prof exam. You're not going to have a final prof exam. Instead of your final prof exam will be the next one exam. So some of you have been asking that how do I study for both theory of final year and MCQs for next? Well, it's only going to be one single exam. You're not going to have a theory paper in final year. It will just be the MCQ paper. We don't know about the negative marking as yet, right? I can't tell you about negative marking. Those guidelines have not been released. So I've told you the approach for second year and third year students. Now, another question which I've been getting is that, can I skip some subjects while preparing for the next exam? So look, I am addressing pre-final year and second year students. You still have a long time to go. Pre-final year students, you still have 2 years, almost a year and a half left. And second year students, you have 2.5 years left. Why are you talking about skipping subjects? You should read all the subjects because, as I've explained to you, yes, the pre-final and the final year subjects have more weightage, but the basic science subjects will also carry 60 marks. Plus, what you need to understand is that your concepts are not going to be clear if your first, second year subjects are not clear. Look, understand one thing. The concepts in medicine, surgery, pediatrics, obs, gynae are all going to remain the same. They are just changing the name of the exam. MCQs remain the same and the concepts remain the same. And the concepts can only be strong if your basic sciences are strong. So Pre-final and final year students, don't think about skipping these subjects. Some of you have asked me that, look, can we just do the rapid revision of the first and second year subjects? Will that suffice? So my answer to you regarding that is that if your concepts are strong, if you've already read in detail those first year, second year subjects, then yes, you can just do the rapid revision and that would be a good enough starting point for you, right? But you have to supplement that with MCQs as well. But if you don't have good concepts of first and second year subjects, watch the entire videos. Take out time, make time for yourself, study extra, but do watch those videos and make those concepts strong. Right, so as far as skipping subject goes, don't skip subjects, please. Another major concern which you people have raised is that, if I watch a video, it takes a long time for me to say watch a 1 hour video. It takes me around 1.5 or 2.5 hours to make the notes. So should I make my own notes or should I rely on printed notes? Well, if I were you, if I was a second year or a third year student, I will make my own notes. Look, I have appeared for USMLE, MRCS, Indian PG, and one thing which I've realized on my own is that I understand best when I make things or write things on my own. That helps in registering that concept and that fact in my mind. So second year and pre-final years, please make your own notes. You still have time. But if you think that it's taking you a very long time and you don't want to make notes, or if your knowledge is the same or if your grasp is the same when you read notes versus make your own notes, then you can rely on printed notes as well. Okay. Another question which a lot of you have raised is that do we go system wise or do we go subject wise? Right? That is another question which all of you have raised. So my approach, and this is personally my personal view on this, what I would do in second and pre-final year is I would go subject wise, right? And my target should be that I will finish all the 19 subjects in final year and I will keep myself 6 months for revision at least. Right? So if the exam is in March, say by September of the previous year, I will finish all my subjects. And then these 6 months of revision which I have, that I am going to approach system wise, because that will help me with the real integration. Once I've read all 19 subjects, now to integrate them in the last 6 months and revise them would become fun, B, it will help you in answering the clinical questions which are being asked, and it will help you in answering the basic sciences questions which will be asked with a clinical touch. So that would again be my approach. So second and third year, you go subject wise, keep yourself 6 months in the end for revision. That 6 months you do system wise revision. Okay, that would be my approach there. Okay, another more questions which students have asked me is, should we be solving MCQs? Absolutely. I've told you it's an MCQ exam. The sooner you start solving MCQs, the better it is. Right? Some of you have even asked me that when should we start doing grand tests? Well, I won't do a grand test in second year, but by third year end, once I've done the major subjects, once I've done first year, second year, third year subjects, and some bit of clinical knowledge I've gathered, there's no harm in doing one grand test once in 2 months or so to start off with. But in final year, one grand test every month, and in the last 6 months, one grand test every 15 to 20 days. Right? So that would again be my approach to grand tests, but MCQs, yes, please solve them on a regular basis. Handwritten notes versus printed notes, I've already answered. How to integrate theory and practicals? Well, I have addressed that we are going through a tough time where you're just reading theory right now, you're unable to go to the clinics. But make your theory strong, read your notes, read the textbook. Whenever you get a chance to go to your clinics, please spend more time there, right? You have to compensate for this period and spend more time there and gather those clinical skills. Okay, system wise versus subject wise also I've told you. Now, a lot of you have asked how to approach the three major subjects: medicine, surgery, and obs-gynae. Okay. Now, let's talk about medicine because maximum queries were regarding medicine. So, medicine, what I would do is I would start reading medicine ideally from second year, but if you haven't done that, then at least from third year. And why am I saying second year? The best time is when you're reading your pathology. When you're reading pathology, you can just integrate that pathology with your medicine. So supposing you've read about myocardial infarction, or if you've read about a lung abscess, read about the same topic from your medicine notes as well. You might not understand everything, but even if you can gather 15, 20, 30% of what is written in the medicine book, A, your correlation with pathology is going to get better. B, you've added more knowledge and concepts to your existing knowledge, right? So don't think that just by one reading, everything will register in your mind. That's not going to happen. But at least that can be a starting point, right? And gradually from second year, if you start, then by mid final year, you can finish your medicine. Okay. Surgery, again, what I recommend for surgery is that when you go for your clinics, whichever case you watch, you come back and read that. But now that clinics are not happening and during this period, then again, if you're reading, supposing in pathology, you've read about ulcerative colitis, or in pathology, you've read about ulcers, right? Then you read the same thing from your Bailey or from the surgery notes or from my surgery videos. And you will not grasp 100% of the concept, but even if 40-50% you can grasp, it's additional knowledge for you. Obs-gynae is an isolated subject, so you have to read it from your notes and your textbooks. That brings me to the next question. A lot of you have asked me that, do you need to read textbooks or just notes and videos are enough? Well, again, if you're a second year and a pre-final year student, you still have time. Please pick up your textbooks. Exams are going to be made, these MCQs are going to be made from standard textbook references. So if you have watched the video, read the notes, reading these textbooks are going to become much easier. But you'll always pick up one or two additional points which might give you an edge over other students. So if you have time, please read the textbooks and read standard textbooks rather than, just textbooks which will help you just pass the exam, the theory exam, in a short span of time. You might not read the textbook cover to cover, but whatever topics you read them, do justice to them. Okay? Yes, final year textbooks are voluminous, they're big, they are, maybe some of them have 2 volumes, but so many people have been reading them over the last so many years, so why can't you do that? Right, so how exactly the timeline, the broad timelines which I want to tell you. For a second year student who's listening to this, by the end of second year, you should have finished all your second year subjects, including their MCQs. Ideally, the first year subjects along with their MCQs. This is the ideal scenario. For an overachiever, for an above average student, you would have done some bit of third and fourth year subjects as well in your second year, right? But otherwise, this should be your target. Third year student, by the end of third year, so third year is critical for you. By the end of third year, all the three major third year subjects along with their MCQs and QBank should be done. And the third year subjects along with the correlation of first year, second year basic sciences, that should be done. Plus, you should have done at least 1/4 of your final year subjects. So that is for an average good student, third year subjects and 1/4 of your final year subjects. Overachievers or excellent students should strive to finish your third year subjects, half of final year subjects. If you can finish half of your final year subjects, then only easily you can finish the rest of it in the next 6 months when you enter final year. So those are the broad targets which you should be aiming for. I know the exam is still 1.5 and 2.5 years away for you. For final year students, it is 2022 March, and for second year, so for pre-final, 2022 March, and for second year students, it's 2.5 years away. But it's very easy to lose focus. So you need to start planning from today. And as I have stressed again and again, have short-term, mid-term and long-term goals. I have already outlined your long-term goals, your broad targets I have outlined for you. The mid-term and the short-term targets you have to fill for yourself, right? Because I can't tell you which subject to start with. So many of you have asked me, sir, which subject should I start with? How can I tell you which subject to start with? Whichever subject you like, you start with that. At the end, you have to finish all. So whichever you